Hello and welcome once again to Woke Watch, an ongoing series of videos where I find the wokest stuff out there on the internet and together we deconstruct it to expose it for the bullshit that it is. So, often on Woke Watch, I'll end up talking about members of the trans community. Now if you're watching this and you are trans, or you've got gender dysphoria, or wherever you are on your journey, provided you're not intentionally hurting anyone else, I wish you the very best, because I'm not anti-trans or transphobic. However, I am pro-female, and it's a tiny minority within the trans community that give the rest of them a bad name. Someone who's been in the news a lot is the swimmer Leah Thomas. Now she transitioned at age 21 and miraculously went from being outside the top 400 in the men's swimming league to immediately being #1 in the women's. Since then, she's won loads of races, she's broken most records, and it's at the point now where clearly she's throwing races so it doesn't look too easy. She's been mostly disowned by her female teammates, and she's openly booed. And I have to say, that's understandable, because that's a man depriving a woman of a place on a women's team. And the requirements for a trans woman to compete in women's sport? Well, they have to take hormone suppressants for 1 year. That's it. Go through puberty, live as a man with all the physical advantages, and then for 52 weeks take testosterone suppressants. And advocates of trans women in sports will say their testosterone levels are much lower than that of biological men, and that's true. But trans women are allowed to have testosterone levels 6 times higher than physical women, biological women. How is that any fucking different to steroids? In fact, you know what? Bollocks, I'll say it. Trans women competing against biological women, they're just fucking evil. Rant over, back to Woke Watch. Last month, a tweet went viral. It was by a trans woman who goes by the name Death and Destruction. Hard to believe she wasn't born female. And she used the pronouns she and they, so anything than referring to her as a biological man, which is what she is. So, here is the tweet that they posted, and it's the dumbest shit you will ever read. Ready? Okay, I'm a trans woman who's experiencing her first period cramps, and what the fuck? I have literally never felt pain like this. Why do we let people live like this? Who wants to try and explain this to she, them, it? The stupidity of the tweet was summed up perfectly by a reply from a doctor who simply wrote, "This is not biologically possible," or from a member of the trans community who said, "As a trans man who works in female healthcare, please stop." So for the benefit of any woke fucktards who may be watching, let's break it down. A trans woman can never experience period cramps, in the same way that I know I'm not going to get pregnant or wake up one morning and find I've laid a fucking egg. I don't have the necessary equipment, and I'm not saying that human women lay eggs either, before any wokies start screaming, "That man thinks women are chickens." Well, a lot of them like cocks. Anyway, a trans woman cannot have period cramps because she doesn't have a womb. In the same way that when a woman has a hysterectomy, they stop having periods because they've had their uterus removed. This is not advanced science. Okay, so just to clarify, to make it as simple as possible, you cannot have period cramps if you don't have something to have a period with. Some of the replies on Twitter were wonderful, such as this one. "Please excuse my ignorance, I'm looking to be educated. This is the first time I've heard of this. If you don't have a uterus, I don't understand what's causing the pain. Thank you." Then there was this one. "Wait, a trans woman can have periods? Like, is that even possible due to organ differences?" And I think that's really polite. However, I prefer this one. "This is a really funny way of saying you don't know how hormones work." But in the spirit of wokeness, there were women, biological women, supporting the trans woman, saying things like, "I didn't know trans women had periods, I'm so sorry," and another saying, "Welcome to the pain of womanhood." Are there really people walking among us who are that fucking thick? Anyone born male, myself included, will never experience period cramps, in the same way that anyone born female will never know what it feels like to take a good kick in the love plums. So we've established what isn't going on for this delusional trans woman. So what is going on? Well, it's most likely side effects from her transitioning. Muscle cramps and spasms are common side effects of the body trying to reject hormone treatment. Almost as if a person's born male and suddenly they're flooded with estrogen, their body doesn't know how to react to it. This is really simple. And like I said at the start of this video, it's a tiny minority within the trans community. But to those people, the trans women or biological men who want to use women's changing rooms, invade women's spaces, compete in women's sports, the people who are trying to essentially eradicate biological women, pack it in, you selfish fuckers. Not to be outdone, Death and Destruction continued tweeting with that self-important delusional narcissism that is so common among the woke. She wrote, "Celebrate my first period by following these hotties. Mate, you are not having a period. You never will. Because you will never be female. And if you think you are, sorry, you're fucking mental." Everyone else, as ever, thanks for watching. Hello and welcome once again to Woke... Fuck, wrong place. It's common on Woke Watch for me to talk about the trans community. Because a handful of them are the gift that keeps fucking giving. Swimmer Leah Thomas, who's been in the news a lot. I heard her speak yesterday. Her voice is fucking lower than mine. If you've got a cock and you're in a woman's changing room, you're a fucking predator. No one born male, myself included, will ever experience a period cramp. But we can get ready in less than an hour. Fucking hell. Ugh. Right, onwards and upwards. Start the instructor. Ooh. That was slippery. Leah Thomas, who's been... We are living in fucking South Park. So what's to be done? I forgot. Fuck it. I almost forgot. For the benefit of one of my American friends, Mouse Rat.